We're making our way now out of the town of Ezra, back onto the main road where we passed some Bedouin. We're now arriving in Bosra, which is just there. Everybody in Syria seems to know the word welcome and also seems to know what it means. Now the first thing we must do here is have a cup of tea. Bosra was probably laid out in Greek times, though incorporated an earlier settlement. This typical three-arched Roman gateway is at the centre of the town. And yes, that Nabatean arch is at the eastern end of the Cardo Maximus, and this other arch is at the western end. In the 1st century BC, Bosra was incorporated into the Nabatean kingdom, and in 70 AD became its capital instead of Petra. In 106 AD it was taken by the Romans and became the capital of their province of Arabia. In those days the streets would have been lined with colonnades providing shade for shoppers. Yes, that would have been the marketplace, and here we have a mosque. There are several mosques in Bosra, all having this square-shaped minaret at one corner. Most of the original building work took place before the 12th or 13th century, using recycled Roman and Byzantine masonry. This mosque is still used. There are still people living in this area, as you will see. This is another bathhouse with no roof.
This part is Tepidarium.
Yes, we're on our way to the Tepidarium.
With water pipes, one for hot water, the second one for cold water. Also, it has rooms for privacy, especially some people, they organize the group and they prefer to be little separate.
During the Christian era, Bosra became the seat of an archbishop. It was in Bosra that a camel caravan leader named Mohammad first learned of Christianity. The early 6th century cathedral, though in a sorry state today, is an important building in the history of Christian architecture. It was the first church to be constructed with a circular dome over a square base. Although this concept had been used previously in secular buildings, its translation to a church building was a South Syrian idea. And these Roman houses are still inhabited, so I'm told. Man on a motorbike. The Emperor Justinian used this model of a church for cathedrals in Constantinople and Ravenna, which are still standing. It is also a direct ancestor of the Dome of the Rock in Jerusalem, which was built about 200 years later. We've come now to a little commercial corner, houses still lived in, some are shops, and behind some of the shops are workshops where you can actually see the goods being made. Everybody in Syria seems to have a mobile phone and satellite television, even here, as you can see. Bosra remained a place of importance down to the Middle Ages, both as a stopping place on the pilgrimage route to Mecca and as a centre of the caravan traffic. We come now to what I suppose we could call the star attraction at Bosra, the theatre. As you will see, this theatre is entirely surrounded by and enclosed within a castle or citadel. The theatre has been dated to the late 2nd century and is one of the largest in the Roman world. The surrounding citadel was first built by the Umayyads in the latter part of the 11th century. However, the building was seriously enlarged and fortified by the Ayyubids in response to the Crusader threat of the early 13th
Now we are
century.
still in the castle. Look here, the defensive tower
Yes, so when was this castle built?
in the 12th century AD.
Okay.
The local black volcanic rock is very hard and durable. Now through here we come to the theatre, as you will see.
Wonderful.
With swimming pool.
Yes.
I should also say that the building was restored by Baibars after the Mongol devastations in the 13th century. The theatre has a seating capacity of 6,000 and standing room for a further 3,000. From the top row we can look out over the modern town. When a reconstruction programme started in 1947, several Arab buildings, including a palace and a mosque and private dwellings, had to be removed. We asked Yasser if he would go down now onto the stage and say something to see if we could hear it.
Congratulations, we are proud of you.
Purely for the record, that was Yasser's wife.
Get him off! Get him off!
Well, there you are. What we're going to do now is make our way down to the backstage area and come out onto the stage. We pass a collection of assorted Roman artifacts on the way. So we're coming now out onto the stage. This may give you a little idea of what it's like to be on the stage in a Roman theatre. I should say that this is not an amphitheatre, by the way. There were no Christians thrown to lions. That was a Western European pastime. This was for plays and other performances, and I understand that several have been arranged recently on special occasions. And so back to Damascus.